Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game we're playing a 3v3 match on the map Hamburger Hill, top v bottom. We're playing the top and I'm playing the Soviets. My next Twitch stream is going to be Thursday. I will leave the details of the time in the description. In my Twitch streams I usually go through a series of quick matches, so if you're interested, just check that out. My Twitch name is Zach the Reaper 1. In this game I started in the top middle, which in my opinion is probably the worst position to start in. So what I've done is I've moved my MCV down to where the gems are, so I can mine the gems early on. And I'm going to expand my base to the left in order to get to the other ore patch. And the problem with the top middle is if you build your base in that place there's actually no gems or no ore in that section, so your ore trucks have to cross either the bridge or they have to go through the bottlenecks to get to any ore. Right, so I'm going to place my ore refinery down because I'm mining gems early on. I'm going to be able to build 2 ore factories straight away before my second ore refinery. Before the match started, it was agreed that there'd be 5 minutes peacetime, so that's going to give us some time to get our economy sorted before we need to think about building tanks. However, that does not mean that the other players won't try and scout our base, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just moving my infantry to all the points, all the bottleneck points where they could get through, and you can see my infantry were just in time then, as Cyan is moving up to the top doing some scouting, and I really don't want them to go to the left and find out what I'm doing with my base, and because the more they know, the better they can plan their attacks. I made a little bit mistake with my base there. I should have built the ore silo straight after the ore refinery. That's where I've just halted the ore truck because it was bringing back too much ore because it was mining gems, and I was basically just wasting it because I didn't have an ore silo. So yeah, if you're ever going to mine gems, do make sure that you do build an ore silo right after before you build your ore factory, otherwise you're just wasting ore. Now as you can see in this map, there is a river that runs down sort of the middle of the map, and it sort of splits the map into 2 sections. You've got the left section and you've got the right section. Now the left section, currently we've got 2 players because I'm on the left section with Green, Jim Bob, who's located just above me. Now our opponent's team have only got 1 player on the left section, whereas on the right section we've only got 1 ally and we've got 2 opponents. So we're going to need to think about that when it's getting to the end of the 5 minutes. And what I'm probably going to try and do is quite early on is I'm going to get a service depot so I can take an MCV over to the right. That will enable me to help my teammate early on and hopefully secure some map control so we have some safe ore patches on the right of the map as well as the left. As you can see, I'm building my second ore refinery, and you do need to be careful when you're mining gems because once the gems run out, you can be in a bit of a stuck position if you don't focus on getting your economy up. Because as you can see at the moment, I've got plenty ore. And you see our teammate, he's starting to build Tesla coils at that gap. Now as you can see, he's building a Tesla coil in that gap. It's going to make it very hard for us to push through there, and probably impossible by the time the 5 minutes are up, where there's going to be about 3 Tesla coils there, and it's not going to be possible for us to go through that gap. Or if we do get through that gap, we probably could break through, but we'll waste so many tanks in the process that it'll be pretty much good game. What he's doing though is he's building a wall in front of the Tesla coils, which sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Because if there's a wall in front of your Tesla coils, the tanks have to shoot through the wall before they can get to the Tesla coils. But it's also meaning he's going to have a very hard time attacking because his tanks can't travel through the wall, so they're going to have to go around it, and that's going to mean there's a very narrow gap for his tanks to go through. So if he tries to attack our base, we're just going to have tanks trickling in, and it means if we put some of our own Tesla coils up, it's going to make it virtually impossible for him to attack our base from that position. And that works really well for me because, as you can see, I've finally got my MCV, and I'm going to be bringing it over to the right. So I'm going to build it just there, and I'm going to be able to bring some tanks over as well. And there's orange, and we can see that orange are getting attacked by yellow. It's not yet been 5 minutes, it's been 4.5 minutes. So that's, and orange has given up. So I'm just typing in the chat that it hasn't been 5 minutes yet. And we can see orange base is destroyed. So that means we have nobody in the right side of the map at the moment. And yellow's just replied saying that it was actually orange that attacked him. So I mean, that's fair enough if he got attacked by our teammate before the agreed peacetime. then he had every right to go on a counter-attack. So that's unfortunate because it's absolutely scuppered my plan. Because my plan was to get my MCV on that side of the map, and I can't do that now because I have no teammate there, and there'll be loads of enemy tanks on that side. So that's screwed me up a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my MCV at the left side. It'll just give me some increased building speed, but not particularly what I needed. And you can see there's a lot of green tanks, and green's also expanded his base down to the south. He's also getting Tesla coils there. As I was saying, Tesla coils will play a big role in defending that position there. So he's got another construction yard, so he's also got increased building speed. Now we're going to make attack on the right side. I'm just going to be building a radar dome to get a bit of visibility of the whole map. And I'm just having to be a bit careful there because you can see my tanks were moving down, so I'm moving them up first and then to the right because of the way tracking works. I was looked like I was going to have quite a few tanks trying to go through Blue's base, and that would have been a bit of a waste. And we can see that Cyan and Yellow are planning an attack from the right, and they're guarding those openings. And I'm going to deploy my construction yard currently. I'm getting my first Tesla coil in. I'll probably want another Tesla coil as well. Just one more maybe. And then that should be pretty secure. But currently I need to be focused on the right because it looks like Yellow and Cyan are going to make a move. Now I'm going to attack Cyan. Even though there's a bottleneck there, I can still attack him there because I've got a lot more tanks. And you can see I'm outnumbering him pretty badly here. And it's looking very good for me. And it looks like Cyan hasn't noticed, so they're just sitting ducks basically. I probably should have manoeuvred a smaller amount because you can see some of my tanks are actually going to the south. And you can see Yellow and Cyan are now trying to break through. And I'm going to kill any tanks that go to the top part. So you can see Yellow's there. And I've basically got them surrounded there, so yeah, I think Yellow and Cyan are just going on it straight for an attack. So I'm just going to get some good kills here because they're trying to run the tanks through me. And you can see they're getting blocked and I'm getting some really good kills and my tanks aren't taking too much damage. And that's what's going to be very important in this map. We've only got 2 players now. So, and I'm just building a Tesla coil there. You can see that Yellow's destroying my construction yard. So actually it's a good thing that I had my other construction yard to the left of my base. Else I would have been missing a construction yard and not being able to build anything at the moment. And you can see Blue's got some tanks down there as well, but he hasn't seemed to notice yet. So he's not helping his teammate, which is good for us because we can clear Yellow up. And then I'll be able to clear Blue. And you can see that Cyan are going for Green's construction yard. So Green's going to need to get back up to his base. And I'm going to deal with Blue in the meantime. As you can see, there is a pass to the right, so Blue didn't have to attack from that pass to the left where he has his Tesla coils from. There is a passage down to the right, as you can see there. And Yellow coming from where Blue is, and you can see that there's they're getting, well, I've not been able to bring all the tanks in at once. We have left it quite undefended though, so I'm gonna need to sort that out quite quickly. But you can see they're getting Tesla down. They haven't got too much left. Yellow's lost basically most of its tanks. And Blue's also trying to provide some backup. And I'm building another Tesla coil, which is going to give us a bit of support. Yellow's down, and now it's just taking care of Blue. And Blue seems to be going back on War Factory. And that's very important. I keep that up because it's 2,000 ore. And I want to keep my tank building speed up. Right, and we can see Cyan sat there. So we're going to attack him while he's... I don't think he's watching at the moment because he's not moving his tanks around. So we're getting some real good kills here. And this is working well for us, and he's brought some more tanks reinforcements, and it's looking okay for us at the moment. However, the big problem is our map control. We don't have that much map control, which means we're very susceptible to running out of ore. So we are going to need to probably try and wrap this up quite quickly, and I'm going to go for an attack on Blue now. You can see he hasn't got too many tanks there. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to need to stay away from the Tesla coils. I'm going to go for his construction yard right now so he can't build any more buildings, and then I'm going to go for his power plants. I'm going to need to stay away from his Tesla coils while I destroy his power. And you can see he's actually got some Tesla troops there. Tesla troops are very hard to fight against with tanks because you can't squash them, and they do a lot of damage. But at the moment I am focusing mainly on his buildings. However, Tesla troops are very expensive, which might explain why he doesn't have that many tanks helping him. and it's looking quite good for us at the moment. He's got some rocket launchers. I'm going to need to take those out because they can do a lot of damage. But they do have very low HP, so they're quite easy to destroy. And you can see he's had to sell quite a lot now, and I've got a few more buildings to destroy, so I'll try and get rid of that ore refinery, and we've got that down. And what that means now is he's not going to be able to build any more. He's going to run out of ore, so that's good for us. And you can see that Cyan are launching an attack in my base, but as you can see, Green are on the right side of the map. And Green are doing a lot of damage to Cyan's base, and I don't know if he's noticed, so that's worked out really well for us. Cyan went on the aggressive attack on my base, and you can see that Blue has actually got a construction yard, so if you can get that away, he could actually start building his base back up, but it doesn't look like that's to be. And I think we'll get that down. We should do. And yes, we have. He had nowhere to go anyway. If he'd went down there, it leads to a dead end, and I would have been able to go down and destroy it anyway. And it looks like this is Blue's last building, and Blue is out of the game. And you can see it's just in time, because you can see I'm actually out of ore. So yeah, all the ore patches have been used up, so my tanks are having to travel, my ore trucks are having to travel an awful long way to gather any ore. And you can see that Cyan has quit out the game right now. I think that attack from Green basically took out all the main buildings, like the raw refineries and the construction yards, so they were pretty much out and had nothing to defend with. So now it's 2v1, yellow against us, but we do not have any ore. So, but yellow may be struggling as well, because you can actually see that they haven't expanded outside the base. They probably needs to expand more to the right and more to the north, especially when my teammate was defeated early on. What they probably should have done is taken a construction yard up to the north part of the right side of the map, and then they would have been in a very strong position. Being Soviets as well, they could have probably put some Tesla coils in that gap, which would have stopped Green being able to attack Cyan at that point. And we can see that Yellow have actually got another base down to the left side of the map, right in the bottom left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tanks back, because we're getting absolutely slaughtered by those Tesla coils, and destroy his base to the bottom left. And I think this is pretty much wrapped up, because we're going to have map control, and we're going to be able to stop his ore trucks from collecting ore outside his base. What probably happened in this match is I think that Cyan and Yellow were probably too aggressive after the 5 minutes were up. And what they did is they tried to go into our bases and destroy the main buildings. But because they had map control, they were always going to be strong in the long game. So if they just held back, held the tanks behind that gap, and held the right side of the map, I think they would have been in a very good position and probably won that game, because all they had to do was hold the map and the game was theirs. Right, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.